going wrong up here?
The potato.
Please cry with me.
There's no
Thank you. Okay, what should I talk about next?
The potato.
gardening.
The potato. Are you ready for Science Hour? Looks like you are. Okay, time for Science Hour. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Science Hour. Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the perfect diet food, the potato. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 10 pounds of potatoes contain only 3 calories. It's a fact. Potatoes contain many necessary nutrients such as potassium, magnesium, zinc, and vast quantities of lead. The potato is a high-energy food. Once ingested, it spreads throughout the body, re-energizing and invigorating tired and sore muscles. From head to toe, the potato makes you go. It's a fact. It's a scientific fact. In fact, this is a fact. The potato is a sex food. That's right, sex food. Once the body's minimum requirements have been met, the body converts potato into sperm. Yes, it does. That's right. Ooh and ah. And it does this in a 1-to-1 ratio. This means 10 pounds of potatoes becomes 10 pounds of sperm. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. So if this does happen to you, inform your wife or girlfriend, you need to make love 84 times a day to use that up, okay? So next time you're at a restaurant and the waiter asks you, is it pizza, chicken, or steak? Say, no, I want potatoes to fill my plate. And this concludes Science Hour. That's just my public service message, you know, that's required, okay? Anyway, how many people saw Crocodile Dundee? Anybody? All right, there were quite a few. I saw that too, and I can't help but notice that a lot of things from Australia, you know, are coming over here to the U.S., and that seems to be really popular, you know. It's sort of fashionable to be Australian now. And I think it's sort of weird because Australians don't like Americans. And the reason is because of the name we have for Australia. Down under. In Australia, that's sort of like an obscenity. They don't like that name. You know, but I think the name that they have for us is just as bad. Because I was talking to this Australian a while back, and I said, well, how do you like living down under? And he said, oh, just fine. How do you like living up yours? So I think it's sort of the same. Anyhow, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself right now. Probably the world's greatest lover. I thought I'd get a laugh at that, but you believe me, huh? Okay. No, actually, I'm married. I got 2 kids, and hard being married these days, especially with kids, you know, and your wife works. You know, you got to be what I call a modern husband. You know, that means you got to help out around the house, and I do that too. I help out around the house. Like the other day, my wife was vacuuming while I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I told her as her vacuum, I said, "Hey, honey, while you vacuum, if the phone rings, I'll get it, okay?" So, you know, I'm always offering to help out around the house. I do all the grocery shopping too. Though my wife's not happy I do it at 7-Eleven, but still I'm out there. When it comes to sex, I'm a modern husband. Boy, that girl's head turned so fast when I said that. When it comes to sex, obviously her favorite subject. But anyway, yes, when it comes to sex, I'm a very modern husband. You know, I don't pressure my wife because she's had a hard day at work. You know, I don't ask for sex when she doesn't feel like it. In fact, she's the one that makes the decision. I have no say in the matter. You know, when we're laying in bed at night, we have this neat system. If my wife wants sex, she just reaches over, grabs my poopy ding, and gives me 1 tug.
How do you do that?
What's happening here? If she doesn't want to have sex, she reaches over and gives me 100 tugs. It's a great system for me. Guys, I suggest you try it. Anyway, we got a couple kids. Yeah, it works both ways. And I got a 2-year-old right now. And let me tell you, 2-year-old is the worst age. Because they see something, the next minute, they're doing it. You know, and it's a real pain. I don't know how my 2-year-old got this, but somehow she decided that picking your nose is socially desirable. I don't understand. You should see our family portrait. My wife and I, we look okay, but there's our daughter. You'll be happy with the car you buy. And I'm serious about that. That's what I did. I sat down and I just wrote what I like in a car. Things I like in a car were, could get around town fast in. Car has such distinction. Other cars just move aside. So I took those into consideration. Really, I came down, I only had one choice. I bought an ambulance. And it's worked out pretty well, and I'll do that joke again. That's my done joke whistle. Anyway, I'd just like to leave you one more thing here. This is a plug for myself, and I don't mean to be commercial here, but I can't help doing it. I'm a published author now, and my book is out in the stores, and I would really like everybody to go buy it, because it's really going to benefit you. It's a shocking expose book. Everyone really ought to read it. It's called Bert and Ernie, Devil Worshippers. Everybody should read it. Anyway, my name's been Jim Johnson. You've been great. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Johnson. Is that a standing ovation?
What?
Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, as MC, it's important for me. I have to, every time I come up here, I have to pass on some bits of information that might be important to you, and then again, they might not be. So you decide. Okay. Also, I noticed everybody's drinking. So the next message I have to bring up is Washington state law. We have the big, tough drinking and driving laws. So we have to tell you, don't drink and drive. But better yet, not me tell you. Let somebody else tell you that knows. So hold on here, and I'll see if I can get it. Oh yeah. Don't drink and drive, especially when you're stoned and your speedometer's broke and there's a cop behind you. And you can't even find your seatbelt. Whoa. Okay, whoa, there's a cop behind me. Okay, the first thing I do normally when I notice there's a cop behind me, I check my speed. But the speedometer seems to be broke. Well, no problem. I used to watch Mr. Wizard. It's just distance and time. 14 feet. 27 seconds. $83 miles an hour. Wait a minute. 55 miles an hour. All right. Uh-oh. Where'd that cop come from? Oh, well, maybe he's not following me. I'll just take a left. Uh-oh. Well, I'll just take another left. Oh, wow. I'm going to start keeping count of these lefts. Because when I get around, about 15 or 16, I'll be making little squares with a cop behind me. Well, I think I better avoid all that. I'll just pull over and relate to him. Good evening, officer. May I help you? Step out of the car. Now? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Second. Whoa! What am I doing in my car? Oh yeah, I was going to the concert. Yeah, it's a jamming concert too. All right. What the hell was that? Whoa, man, I just cleaned this thing. Oh! Whoa, colors! Oh, hey, it's a cop! Boy, is he pissed at somebody. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, I'll be with you in just a minute, officer. Do you ever pour beer all over yourself to get rid of the smell of the dope? Okay, officer, good evening. May I help you? What's that? How fast was I going? 55 miles an hour? All right, you want to high five the guy. Circle gets to square. What's that? I'm in a parkade? Ooh. What's that? Why do I have shades on at 3 in the morning? Gee, I don't know why you got all these lights in my face, man. You ever check to see if you were stoned? In their little mirrored sunglasses? Hey man, I'm pissed. I'm not peeking yet, man. I got ripped off. I want to turn this guy in. What's that? Oh, I gotta walk this line? And then somewhere in the recesses of my mind, I remember I'm a comedian. Sure, officer. I'll walk your line.
There you go.
There's your fucking line. Anybody want to ride home tonight? Just thought I'd check. Well, anyway, I was going to this concert, right? And then there was this concert, Ralphie. You guys know who Ralphie is? Well, check this out, right? Okay. So this is Gene Stott of the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. Ooh, must be true, huh? And he says he's the Bruce Springsteen of children's entertainers. Ooh, that's great. And his rap report with the youngsters is immediate. From his first, "Hi, kids." And you guys say, "Hi, Ralphie."
Hi, Ralphie.
That's great because they're gonna have a sing-along. This is my favorite Ralphie song. Okay, so if you know it, go ahead. Okay, good. I'll take this part. Okay, now it goes down by the bay,
Down by the bay,
where the watermelons grow.
where the watermelons grow.
Back to my home,
Back to my home.
I dare not go.
I dare not go.
For if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say.
my mother would say.
Okay, sing that part.
Don't do it with a watermelon because Liberace's gay.
Oh, hallucinations. Okay, but it goes down by the bay, where the watermelons grow. Back to my home, I dare not go. For if I do, my mother would say. Did you ever see the dope? Did you ever see the Pope smoking some dope? Down by the bay, down by the bay. Okay, everybody, down where the watermelons grow. Back to my home, I dare not go. For if I do, my mother would say. Okay, that's good. Okay, now this half of the room. Okay. Okay, for if I did, my mother would say, Did you ever see a dude taking a lewd down by the bay? Okay, take it away. Down by the bay, where the watermelons grow. Back to my home, I dare not go. For if I do, this is great. My mother would say, did you ever see a geek taking a leak down by the bay? Okay, this is, it's too much excitement. We're gonna have to calm the crowd down. You guys are up to a riot kind of level, so everybody take a deep breath. You guys want to do that, huh? Don't want to fucking sing, but we'll breathe for you, yeah, sure. So what we're gonna do is bring up our next act. Thunderous applause, that's great. Ken's getting the fuck up. That's good. Ladies and gentlemen, our next act, our next contestant here at Comedy at CJ Timothy's is a young man. He's been working hard. He's been doing his craft. He's been working at it. He's a young farm boy from one of our local hick towns. I introduce to you Mr. Electric, Mr. Brian Bailey. I think he's holding out for a standing ovation, so if you guys would cooperate, we'll get things rolling along. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Bailey. Mr. Electric.
He's a mime.
You guys can see me, but I can't see you. I'm gonna shock you guys. I'm a student at Eastern Washington University, majoring in liberal arts with emphasis on economics, government, and geology. Someday I'd like to get in politics, but right now I'm doing this. So I figure, if I can get up in front of a bunch of drunks like you and tell a few jokes, then I won't have any trouble getting up in front of a large crowd of people and tell a few lies. Why don't they teach trans education and sex education at the same time in Mexican schools?
No, it doesn't.
Too hard on a donkey. Who's the most popular man in the news colony? He's the one who can carry 5 cups of coffee in each hand and 10 donuts. Who's the most popular woman in the news colony? She's the one that can eat all 10 donuts. You heard about Little Red Riding Hood? She was strolling through the woods. Wolf jumps out from behind the tree and goes, "I'm gonna eat you." She screams, "Shit, just eat me!" Well, there's this guy. He's got a business appointment in town. He's dressed up, suit, tie, and everything. And his car breaks down. This guy's not too mechanically inclined, so he gets out, kicks the tire, and won't start. So he starts walking, hitchhiking. Well, this pickup pulls up and goes, "You need a ride?" Guy goes, "Yeah, I'm going down." The guy goes, "Well, I'm going that way too." So off they go, and guy pulls off the road, just beats the shit out of this guy. Ties his hands to his ankles, takes his clothes, all his money, and everything, and takes off. Well, this guy hops out in the middle of the road, his hands tied to his ankles, naked. This This log truck pulls up, and this logger gets out and goes, "Need some help, buddy?" The guy goes, "Yeah, this guy just beat the shit out of me, took my money, all my clothes, tied me like this." Logger goes, "Well, doesn't look like it's your day today." Well, Burns and Foss, they died the same day. They're both up there at the pearly gates of heaven. Old St. Peter's comes out and goes, "What do we have here today?" Burns goes, "You've got a couple poets." St. Peter's goes, "That's too bad. We've only got room for one poet in heaven today. I guess we'll have to have a runoff." The poet who makes up the best poem using the word Timbuktu is in. So Burns goes, "As I crossed the barren land, I looked across the blazing sand. A caravan came into view, destination Timbuktu." Old St. Peter's goes, "Now that's pretty good." Well, Frost, stand back here, goes, "Hell, I can beat that." Tim and I went hunting. We spied 3 maidens in a tent. They were 3, we were 2. I bucked 1 in Timbuktu. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Bailey. Okay, well, I have to stall for time while everybody makes up their mind who's up here next. And, okay, fine, thanks. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, you saw the drink and drive part, and that's a pretty stupid thing to do, don't you think? Yes! Good, I'm glad to see it's unanimous, that's great. Because as a matter of fact, I did something stupid on Sunday. Has anybody here ever done anything stupid? No. Of course we'd all admit it while the cameras are running, yeah. We'd all jump up and say, but no, I went out to Badger Lake on Sunday, and you guys familiar with the cliffs out there? Okay, yeah. Well, I jumped off one of the cliffs, and it was like 80 feet. Yeah. And well, what happened was I landed. What's going on?
You didn't die.
No, wait. Somebody back here is going. Oh no. Okay. And but anyway, no, I didn't die. As a matter of fact, but I got a bruise on my tongue, and the jeans. I had some short jeans on, and the butt of those ripped out, and I wasn't wearing any underwear, so I have welts and bruises on my ass. It was sort of like God sort of kicked me in the ass and said, you know, that's a pretty stupid idea, don't you think? You know, so, but I personally want to thank whoever's in charge. Thank you very much. I didn't sustain any grievous body damage, but, you know, because I could have done it, you know, because are you familiar with what they have is they have a clip that you have to get a running start. Now, 3 other guys went before me, but they're rather large, so they have a lot of momentum and a lot of weight. And so they go, plum, 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 and they're great, right? Okay, so I figured, yeah, you know, I got a couple bowls and a couple beers in me. And so of course, my distance and my time is just, you know, right on time. So, of course, I had nightmares about running up and just going like, whoa! Which really would have been amazing. But has anybody ever seen Faces of Death? The movie? Yes. Okay, good. The movie you're familiar that we're speaking of is it's a compilation of all these cameras that they had where people died. You know? Yeah, and things. They had all kinds of just different deaths that were accidentally caught on film. And it's really, I think it's a family film, as a matter of fact. It's put out by Walt Disney. But yeah, you really would have to see it to appreciate it. That is the truth. But anyway, getting back to it, a common joke between me and my friends is anytime we do anything stupid or death-defying, we always consider it a tryout for Faces of Death 4. So, and the bummer of the deal is, if I would have killed myself, there was no camera there. So I'd have just been a lone, solitary idiot going off the side of the road. Yeah, can I? Yeah, I guess I could. Actually, I was watching the Olympics. Nice little segue we got going there. And I was kind of pissed about the Olympics not too long ago, because they've got too damn many events, don't you think? Okay, good. And but they got all these events, and you know, they just keep getting more and more. And you know, they can't eliminate any of the events. because you're just going to tick somebody off. You know, well, we like chess as an Olympic sport. So they're going to have to end up like combining some of the events. And you'll get things like, I guess, marathon balance beam. Well, I think it would be the passing that would be really action-packed. And the American team is taking the lead. Or maybe like cross-country javelin. No. If you really want to make that a spectator sport, you put the guys that are marathon balance beaming, you put them across the pool, and then you have one guy at the end of the pool throwing javelins, and then maybe you have a guy up on the high dive with some shot puts. And then maybe we've gone too far. But I think that's nice every now and then, as long as you don't have to sleep in the wet spot. But
I shot my putts.
but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, moving quickly on from this sordid mess, we bring on our next comic. He's a gentleman that's been working down here very much. He enjoys his trade. You will enjoy his trade. He's been working all over the Pacific Northwest. He'll be opening up in Seattle coming up here very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the comedy talents of Mr. Chris Harris.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Amber Ken McCall? Come on, you're doing a nice job. Yeah, we're having fun tonight, aren't we? You guys are just making so much noise, but we're having fun. Yeah, that is what counts. I wasn't down here last week. I had to spend some time in jail. It wasn't real fun. What I did is I went into this bank and I grabbed this deposit slip and wrote, "This is a stick-up," and their little cameras caught me. But I haven't gone to court yet, so don't do that. It's not real fun. I'm lying, too. You said that you were down in Mississippi. What were you doing down there? Training? So you weren't visiting relatives, you don't live there or anything. How did you like the poorest state in America? Yes. In that garbage barge that was floating around on the ocean for a couple of months, why didn't they go down to take it to Mississippi? I think they would have bought it. Yeah. I mean, this garbage, it was from New York. It was garbage from hell. Geez, it was sitting like out there in the sun and it was oozing and smelling, and it's a pretty bad scene, but it's going back to New York. But I still think they could have sold it. Like they could probably sold it to Yugoslavia, and they could have made Yugos out of it, I think. I don't know, they could have made a profit, I don't know. But also they were off the coast of Florida, and I don't understand, why didn't they just kind of like float in the Bermuda Triangle and like nobody would see it again? They should have done that. I don't understand that. I don't know. Not too many people are smoking out here tonight, and that's good. It's really good because smoking's bad for you. It causes lots of heart problems and everything imaginable almost. But I think more people would probably quit smoking if the little warnings were just a bit more graphic, maybe. Something like smoking cigarettes can cause you to cough up internal organs in the morning might work. Yeah. And smoking cigarettes, it's it's not too healthy. And then one of the first big problems that you get from smoking cigarettes is it's a thing called smoker's cough. People deal with it. It's no big problem. The only time it really becomes, deal with it, guys. The only time it really becomes bothersome is in the morning and that phlegm ball lands in a cup of coffee. Don't like that. And then you look in the magazines, they have these cigarette ads with these big, tough, burly guys. And I think this is the reason why so many gay men smoke. Yes, it is. I think there's a little subliminal advertising in the background that says, "Eat me, Bob." So they're off to the grocery store to get something round in their mouth, I don't know. Yeah, go down to 7-Eleven. Abdul, I'll take some cigarettes, please. I felt like guy in the ad, I'd sure like to smoke him. That's enough about cigarettes, yeah, that's enough. Football players don't smoke, but they use steroids. Like this is real good. Has some serious side effects. Kind of messes up their livers, make their ligaments real weak, and also has a tendency to make